Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Welcome, one and all. It's another episode of the Sunday night live stream. It is December 1st, 2024. Only 30 more days in the year, my friends. Only 30 more days. So, got a couple things I want to talk about tonight. Hopefully this will be interesting. Cap at 2 hours. Got a couple things I need to get done yet tonight. Excuse me. And I need to, after the stream, I need to go put the space heater in my bedroom to let it run for 30 minutes before I can go to bed in there. It's a little bit chilly. Little bit chilly. All right, let's see. We have Grish. We've got David. One of the usual suspects. Welcome in, David. Josephus is here. Catherine, welcome. Hope the weather down in Columbia is a little bit better than it is here in Michigan. Oof. It's been a cold weekend. Yeah, between 20 and 28 degrees Fahrenheit. it's been cold, and in fact, I went to get gas the other night after I returned home from having dinner with my father and my brother, who came in from out of town. My brother did. And I went to stop at the gas station to get gas on the way home, and the door for my gas cap is frozen shut. So I think I got enough gas to get to work tomorrow. I don't have to go until the afternoon, so maybe I can, whether I use some lock de-icer or some hot water, I can hopefully get that door opened up so that I can put gas in the thing. Because I know I'm under a quarter tank right now. And makes me nervous when the temperatures are this low. It makes me nervous. Yeah, I'm a little jealous right now. One of my Proxmox servers bit the dust with a bad stick of RAM. Found out after I started to have data corruption. Bugger. Found it's cool that if I reinstall the server, rejoin it to the cluster, all VMs. Good deal. All VMs showed up. Great. Hate fryers work well too. I'm not familiar, but I'll look that up. did you mean hair dryer? I'm hoping you meant hair dryer. I don't have a hair dryer. I don't have hair. Didn't have to restore anything. That's awesome. 35 degrees Celsius. Nice. Dryer. Yep. Gotcha. Diode Skies. Hello from Chicago. 22 degrees out here. So according to my phone, it's currently 25 right now. Actually a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. Alonzo, welcome in. Took out the bad stick of RAM, of course. Very nice. I do not have a heat gun, unfortunately. I'd be a little scared to use that around the gas cap and or melting the paint on my car. Would have been nice to have an enterprise server to know which stick of RAM is bad via ECC. It was painful testing one stick at a time. Been there. I've definitely been there. Not on my Proxmox servers, but on other computers for sure. Oh, 29 in New York. So you got me by 4 degrees, David. Yeah. Getting down to 25 tonight too. Yep. It's been pretty chilly, and I live in an old drafty building. And I have no ductwork in my apartment, so I've got like no really great heat. Jason's Lab, hello, my Canadian friend. Hopefully your weather up there is a little bit nicer than what mine is down here. Being close to the ocean and all. Memory goes bad. Apple, you hear that? Memory can go bad, right? Planned obsolescence. I'm the only one with really nice temps. Plus 25. Rarely though, because they use higher quality stuff. Yep. Weather isn't too bad up here for now. Well, that's good to hear, Jason. Hopefully you had a good weekend and everything's going well for you up there. And that's 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfect. Yeah. Tony, welcome in. Okay. So I think the only one we're missing is TVJ, and then we'll have the whole crew here. So I set out on a quest today. Didn't get my original quest done, but I got onto a side quest, so I guess that's something. I actually started playing more with the networking side of Proxmox, and I'm happy to say that I got something working that I've been has escaped me, has not been obvious to me up to this point. And through watching some videos, thank you to, I think it was Appleard's Lair, I think that's the name of the channel, rewatched some videos he did, and I got something working. So I had long desired to have a setup similar to what I'd done on VirtualBox years ago for some of my fog testing. Basically where I had one network card that was connected to my main network and one network card that was private for the VMs. And since I haven't always had the best of luck with getting and keeping managed switches set up, it's always sort of eluded me based on the documentation and different things. But today I had a breakthrough, and it's like, how did I not get here sooner? Right? So anyways, what I wanted to show, and it's actually going to be a couple things at Proxmox tonight, but part of this will get re-recorded for a standalone video. However, I wanted to do at least part of that demo here tonight and play with some networking stuff, right? So, and then we might talk about this thing behind me too, if anybody can make out what that is already. That was yesterday's adventure. That was a complete time sink for a little reward. Such is the life of the home labber, right? Time sink for little reward. So we have 13 people watching. Lucky number 13. 14 now. 14. Do I hear 15? Do I hear 50? Come on, 15. Let's go. Let's get it happening, people. Oh, there's 15. I heard 15 and it materialized. Okay, so let me bring up my screen and we'll try to have some fun tonight, and I may just be finishing off what little bit is left of my bottle of whiskey. So let me share my screen and come over here and look at that. In all of its glory, it is Proxmox 8.3. So, what I discovered, and I don't know why there was the mental disconnect up until this point, but if I had not had as many early failures with it, I probably would have just figured it out on my own earlier. So let's pick on, I don't know, let's go to MicroWin 2. I'm trying to make that just a little bit bigger for people. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got a network device which is hooked to bridge 0. I've only got one network card currently plugged into the switch on my network, so I've only got one bridge. We'll talk about a side project that will allow me to experiment a little bit more a little later, hopefully, if I remember. So I'm going to add another network device, right? It's also, I'm leaving it on VM bridge 0. But I'm going to put it on VLAN tag 1000. And then I'm going to add it to this machine. So when I boot up this Windows VM, it will have two network cards, one which is going to be on my physical network, and the other is going to be sort of tricking it to think that it's on a VLAN, and I will assign static IP addresses to the network cards on that VLAN. So we'll get this started up here. And okay, that's the one I did, this password. I don't normally use that password with that account name, but it's okay. Okay, so we want to play with our network settings. All right, so Ethernet is showing as connected. Ethernet 2 is showing as not connected. Accent color. Oh, I'm going to say no to that right now. So we're going to come over here and I may have to make this a little bit smaller so I can see what I need to see. Okay, Ethernet 2. I don't normally use Windows with 2 Ethernet cards. Okay, so Ethernet 1. This is on the 172.16.74 network. Ethernet 2, we're going to come down here and we're going to change this. And IPv4, we're going to put this on 50.1. And we're going to save that. And so now we'll come in here and we'll open up a terminal. Maybe. Okay, so now we've got 74.54 and we've got 50.1. So that is all and good. And then we're going to come down here on the Pop OS. What is this? The Alpha 2. I think I've upgraded that to Alpha 3 anyways. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to add a network device. We're going to put this on, what VLAN did I put the other one on? Was that 1000? 1000. So we're going to do the same thing here. Add network device, VLAN 1000, not 10,000, 1000. And we're going to go ahead and start this one up as well. And then we'll set a static IP address there too. And we can have a little fun, right? So, anyway, at some point, obviously I didn't get to it this weekend. At some point, I'm going to continue to rework my network. Requesting IP and routing info. So 19 should be the new one. Well, let's see. Maybe 19 is the existing one. IP v4. There we go. So let's see. Well, that's interesting. Wired connection 1 is showing as connected there, but all right. So let's take a look here. And we have anything connecting at all? No, it does not appear that we do. Okay, so theoretically, this should work. But, so let's do wired connection 2. Let's get rid of that for the moment so I can actually see what the heck I'm doing. We're going to say manual. We're going to add 2.168.50.5. 24. Yes. Save. Let's come back here again. Well, bugger me. Does not appear to be cooperating. I should have the one with the static address now, but it is not cooperating for me. Connected. Okay, got a love-hate relationship with this tiling on such a small screen. Okay. So now we can at least ping 192.168.50.1. And of course that's not going to cooperate. 50.1 is what I set here. I had this working earlier. So once again, I'm bitten the hind end by the curse of the live demo, right? All right, so I guess you're gonna look at my ugly face for a minute. Let me see what everybody is yakking about over here. Let's see. Yes, I'm manifesting more viewers, although it peaked at 15, dropped to 12. We're at 14 at the moment, is what I see on this side. I spent over 3 hours today trying to answer a question for one of my viewers. Oh my gosh. Dean, welcome. 2:15 a.m. in England. Well, feel free to watch the playback. I'm not sure I would want to be up at 2:15 a.m. if I had to be at work in the morning. But thank you for being here. I do understand what it's like to be a night owl as an IT person, and spent many a nights up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and catching 3 hours of sleep before going into work. Not so much this year. I've had a midlife pivot, shall we say. In the end, I was unable to get the answer. That's a bummer. Was it the meaning of life? Oh my gosh. Don't ask that question. So I had, going back to my days at the Fortune 500 insurance company that I once upon a time worked for. It's been more than 10 years now I've been gone from there, thankfully. The writing was on the wall when they wanted to make me try to learn COBOL, and I really wasn't that interested. Anyway, I had one, I don't know, he was my boss's boss, I guess you could say. So he was more at the director level, in the department, at the insurance company, right? So I had been working on a project, doing software QA testing, and excuse me, we were all up for reviews for pay adjustments, raises. And so I went down to his office, and we went through the spiel, and he told me I was getting a nice size bump at that point in time. I wish I still had that kind of money coming in, but I don't hate life right now, so it's all good. I may never be a rich man, but I don't hate life like I did at the insurance company. So anyways, we were talking, and at the end of this, and he asked me if I had any further questions, and I said, sure. I said, Rich, you've got a few years on me. Can you tell me what the meaning of life is? And the man talked for like another 30 to 45 minutes on that topic. And I wish I had some recollection of everything he said. I was expecting the cheeky 42 answer from the Hitchhiker's Guide, but nope, that's not what I got in any way, shape, or form. So if you don't know that your boss's boss has a sense of humor, don't ask that question at a review where you're getting a raise. But I felt obligated to sit there and smile and listen contently at the time. So, oh my. Toilet call, stupid sleeping disorder. Yep, been there. How to do a factory reset on one of the 4 camera security systems I reviewed last year. Oh my. Eek. Yeah. It's funny how you review an item and you end up being tech support forevermore. Until the end of time. Or the end of our time on this ball of dirt that we're spinning around on. Have you looked into SDN and Proxmox? That way you can define networks via their VLAN ID, but have them show up as friendly names when adding the NIC to the VM. I have tried multiple times and failed. Now, with that being said, I may have made a questionable purchase over the weekend. So I might have a testing box that I can do a fresh install of Proxmox on, and then try the SDN stuff again, because I think when I got the big server, I installed 7.2 or 7.3, 7 something anyways, and upgraded them through up to 8.3 now. I don't know if something was added somewhere along the line. I have never got the SDN to work. So that's one of the things I want to do with, now that I'll have managed switch swapped in and a few other things happening that will allow me to do such things a little easier. But with currently unmanaged switches, I have not been successful in getting the SDN to work. So it's probably a mental disconnect on my part. But when I've tried to work through people's videos or documentation, I get to the point of frustration and my eyes gloss over and I have to walk away. I'm sure nobody else gets to that point with technology. Surely that was difficult to answer since documentation is usually lacking. Yep, I agree. No wonder you had your work cut out. Still have the system and the documentation was poor. I thought I could figure it out, but nope. Thing even had a 2032 battery on the PC board, so at first I thought it would be a snap, but nope. Go figure. Jacob is in the house, and hey, look at that. We're up to 16 people watching. If we get up to 20, I'll pour the last of the whiskey in my glass. So if you know anybody, get them to tune in. Thing runs as if nothing happened with that battery installed. How long did you remove it? Yeah, that's a good question. And I figured out it must be a keyboard sequence as it boots, but all my guesses failed. Yeah. Yeah. Those systems are kind of funky proprietary weirdness, aren't they? ASRAC server board, keep the BIOS for 10 minutes or longer. I had it removed for over half an hour, then decided to turn it on without the battery. Maybe a combo keeper. Yep. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've got is Reddit or one of the other forums out there, and there's a bunch of them that have threads on those crazy things. Send a message to the company that sent it to me for review, so hopefully they get back to me. TVJ is in the house. Whoop whoop. I suppose I should do which one is that? There we go. Yay. Okay. Got to keep playing with the toy, you know. Let's see. Live demo curse is a real thing. Yes, it is. No worries. That keeps it interesting. Yeah, rub it in. Terrell's in the house. All right. Now that I've actually got it set to the right set of buttons, I can do this. It's up at 3 a.m. yesterday, 3 hours before work was to start. Yuck. Finding it harder and harder to stay up past 1 a.m. even though I can sleep as late as I would like. Yup. I was pleased this morning when I checked my 401k. The last 6 months has approved my retirement. Very nice. My issue is not holding back when a boss of mine said something ridiculous. Yeah. Thank you, Catherine. And if everybody else can like the video, that would be wonderful. I guess that's time. That's a cue to put this thing up. Okay. So, we have 17. It just bumped up to 18. Jay, you should feel special because I didn't have it prepped when Josephus got here, or pretty much anybody else. So, I guess 18 is close enough, and there's not much left in this bottle, so. Oh, that's a healthy pour. Cheers, everybody. Oh, there's 19. There's 19. Went to the game, and the outcome was not what I wanted for the 4th year in a row. Well, but hey, it was a good weekend to be a Lions fan, right? Have you tried to build in ZFS with Proxmox? Not yet. I need to get some additional drives, and then I want to take a stab at that. Oh, you know the bottle, Tony? The empty bottle. Oh my. Now I'm torn. Do I get Grandstream gear ordered, or do I order another bottle of whiskey? um, See, Michigan beat Ohio State yesterday. Uh-huh. That's about the only time I root for Michigan is when they play Ohio State, but that goes way back to when I was in high school. So, good thing the Lions are good this year. Yeah. um, the servers have plenty of RAM. There's 64 gigs of RAM in each node on the server, so not worried there. Yes, sir. That is the orange that Tony likes. Big Ten fined both teams $100,000 for brawling after the game. That doesn't surprise me either. Yeah, it's it's a call at the moment. It's a call. Because I really love this whiskey, I have to say. I do love it. It's been a few weeks since I've had a sip of it, and it's like, oh yes, I remember you. It's like becoming reacquainted with a high school girlfriend or something, you know? I remember you. Stream gear, whiskey causes stupid behavior in some. Yeah. So I did pick up a couple of things. Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. The big thing I picked up wasn't even for me. It's something I'll be reimbursed for. But I got a guy I know that I've done computer work for. He does music at home, and he wanted to do some software updates, and I said, well, let's also take a look at, you know, which version of Windows you're running, because, you know, next year is for Windows 10, right? Unless you want to pay the $30 to extend it a year as a home user. He said, no, you know, let's just get a new PC and we'll migrate my licenses for all my audio software over to the new machine. And so I ended up getting him one of those B-League mini PCs, because he's not a gamer. First and foremost, it's small. It'll fit on top of his desk instead of underneath, which will be a bonus because he's got a couple of years on me. Maybe 5, I don't know. So it's the 88 Ryzen 7 8845HS. And 32 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte solid state drive. Windows 11 Pro. It'll do everything he needs. It's going to arrive here at my place on Wednesday or Thursday. I'll do the setup here, and then we'll make arrangements. I'll probably stop into his business location and get a check from him to cover my cost of the machine and the initial labor to do the setup. And then we'll have probably later in the month or early in January, we'll spend Sunday afternoon at his place and do all the software migrations, get everything reinstalled and tested and backup set to happen, and you know, everything will be nice, right? So when he bought his current computer, he went to a local computer shop, and I don't know, this was 2 or 3, maybe it's been 4 years now, but the guy that owned the shop, or one of the workers at the shop, sold him a machine with a 4th generation Intel, I think it was an i5 or an i7 in it. And you know, it's done what it's needed to do to run Ableton Live and all the funky plugins that he uses to do drums and all the instrument packs and this and that and the other thing. But you know, my concern was I didn't want him to pay me for the investment of time into upgrading all this stuff on this machine, and then, you know, in another 10 months have to turn around and then just migrate it to something else because you know, support for Windows 10 is going away. So cool guy. He's like I said, he's a musician on the side, but he owns a jewelry store. It's his family's jewelry store. He's the main dude that does all the diamond buying and this and that and the other thing. And you know, he before I had a setup that I could do anything with it, which isn't the case anymore, but he did let me borrow a bass guitar for a week or so while in between appointments at his place to do work on his computer, which was kind of cool because I'd always wanted to start learning bass, but I've never put down the money to buy one because I always end up spending money on computer crap, right? So it is what it is. In any event, cool guy. I'm looking forward to getting that new of a machine, a mini PC, that new to play around with. And yeah. So anyway, looks like I missed a few messages in Signal. So apparently my little rant has dropped us down to 13 people watching, but thank you to everybody that's sticking around and letting me rant a little bit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I did get the plastic cover for my Rodecaster Duo, just to keep the dust and crap off it. Because they had it marked down, and it's like, well, if I can save $4 on it, let's do it. Because I'm getting a good bit of money invested in all this studio setup, shall we say. So what was my questionable purchase? So I picked up, because I never have a problem rehoming these machines. And I like picking them up for a little bit of nothing, right? So I picked up, paperwork over here, printed off the spec, or the first 2 pages of the spec sheet. So I picked up Dell Optiplex 7050 with a i7 7600 in it, 16 gigs of RAM. But the part that was interesting to me is that this machine had 2 graphics cards in it for whatever reason, right? So I'm curious whether I am losing money on this one or whether I stole it, because they did not document in the listing that it had 2 graphics cards in it. So anyways, I've got a solid state drive to put in that, and I've got a couple of non-matching spinning rust drives that I can throw in there. I figured I would first test it with that Intel A380, I think it was, graphics card that I picked up earlier in the year, and only to discover that none of my small form factor machines had room because of the way these buggers put the by 16 slot right next to the power supply, which is sort of bass-ackwards compared to every other desktop board I've used, where the graphics card slot is closest to the CPU. But yeah, you know, it is what it is, right? So anyways, I figured I would use that for a brief period for testing out performance. I want to test out what is it? Is it Batocera Linux? Basically, it's an installable version, basically, of Steam OS. I might be thinking of something else. No, Batocera is the retro game distribution. The one I'm thinking of is in alpha, I think, at the moment. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it was based on Fedora. But yeah, it's supposed to be something like Bazite. Yeah, let me bring this up. Not a Vast. SteamOS clone for PC, right? So this is from August. So Bazite is a SteamOS clone that supports gaming PCs. So I figured, since my gaming needs are rather low end, shall we say, low end, I thought maybe I would just check this out, even if it's a early buggy alpha type thing. Bazite Linux, this is the one. So yeah, I figured I would put this on that Optiplex and see if it made a decent little 720p 1080p type gaming machine. Excuse me. So I'll try that out, and then it'll probably end up being at least for a brief time, it will end up being a test bed for SDN stuff for Proxmox. So it'll probably be Proxmox Node 4 on my network. And like I've said many times before, once I get some additional disks and a weekend where I can back everything up and wipe and start over, I do want to play with ZFS and Proxmox clusters, since I'll have 3 machines, and hey, why not, right? But yes, this Bazite supports NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel. So I'm kind of looking to see how well this Intel card I've got does, and I might test it with the cards that are already in the machine first, and then have something to compare against, right? Let's see. Is that supposed to be $100 or 100%? I know I'll be acquiring Grandstream gear, especially after this recent video of Willie's I saw. It's like, now I'm really sold. But I've also got a plan for it. Before I think about rolling it out here at home, I've got a plan for it, which will have me taking it to work temporarily, maybe carting it back and forth from work temporarily. I'm training a new guy, and he's 17. He's very green, shall we say, very new. But I want to get him some access to more small, medium business type equipment rather than just the plasticky consumer level stuff, right? Once had a long-term security consulting engagement in Columbus, Ohio. Those people are crazy when it comes to college football. Yes, sir, they are. Sounds like a mini PC because the H1000 of the H1000 HS. Yep, it is. That one was a mini PC for this other guy. The Optiplex is a full tower. A retired second gen Intel and AM3 Plus. They will be replaced with B450, 5600G, and 5600X. Very nice. You rant? No. People keep coming back for the rants. At least that's what Josephus keeps telling me. Yes, there is a plastic dust cover for the Duo. It came up in one of my suggested items feeds on the Bezos Mart. Let's see. YouTube Music Portal, welcome in. Lurking here, attending a fun family outing. Very nice. I got an Optiplex 750 small form factor. Very nice. Got a Tesla P4 in it because the PSU. Yep. The one I do not like because he thought he knew better. My NDI rant got a lot of views. Yep. It seems like the rant videos are people are eating them up lately. So we've got 16 people viewing. Can't quite do the smiley face like the graphic, but hey, cheers. I might have to have a couple of chimichangas after this. I didn't really have dinner. I got watching a live stream on YouTube and it went longer than it was supposed to, so I didn't get to put my pizza in the oven. So I guess it's chimichangas for late dinner. Maybe I can just do one. Normally I eat 2 at a time. Maybe I'll do just one. Okay, so what was the other thing I was going to talk about tonight? More Proxmox stuff. So let me jump over here. So I've got my notes available. So Copy. Okay, so as you may be aware, the 8.3 version of Proxmox made it so that you do not any longer have to go to the command line to do imports of OVA files. And the cool thing is that you can either download it to your computer and then upload it to Proxmox, or you can go to the download from URL, and you need to take those characters off, and you can have it download directly to your Proxmox machine, which is really quite cool. So that's a 6 gig download. We'll let it sit for a minute. And I will monitor that, and we will go back to it when it has concluded. So yeah, I've been having a good time with this 8.3 version of Proxmox. I do want to make a standalone video that shows a couple of the places where you can get OVA files. You know, sometimes you got to be a little fiddly with them. I've had a couple that they didn't specifically say, since they were appliances. They didn't specifically say if they were Linux or Windows. So when the initial boot fails and you know, you see the error messages, then it's like, okay, well, I got to add an EFI disk and change the BIOS to UEFI and, you know, do all the stuff to make it boot, right? Not the end of the world, but you know, people's documentation could be better. So yeah, there's something else that I started on today, and I'm not sure which machine I've got it running on, that I might be able to show off while we're waiting on the machine to download that file. This one, let's see, I believe it's this one. Yes. Gmail and Bitwarden. Okay, so let's take a look at this while we're waiting on that. While we're waiting on that. So, yes, the Dell will absolutely be running some form of Linux. I have no use for Windows 11, and I'm not going to continue to update machines just to run Windows 11. This is a virtual, this is actually a Linux container running, it's called NocoDB. So let me sign into this. So if anybody has heard of a product called Airtable, so this is the more commercial, flashy version. But basically it gives you, this type of thing gives you a database backend, but the front end looks a lot like a spreadsheet. So there are a couple of open source alternatives. One being NocoDB, one is called Baserow, and I think there are 2 or 3 others out there. But I have been wanting to do an inventory project. I've got a couple barcode scanners. I've got somewhere in my apartment, I've got one of those cardboard envelopes that has barcode stickers in it. I can't put my finger on them. So I ordered a roll this time of barcode stickers. So what I've done here today, is I built a database, shall we say, with a couple of tables. And basically I did this in, I did what's called the base inventory table here, which is able to be duplicated, right? And then there's a lookup table called rooms. So what my goal is with this is I've got an item name, field for a barcode, location, description, and the room is a lookup field, right? So this is kind of like a web, almost a web version of like something like Microsoft Access. Very easily put together this form for me. So again, you've got item, barcode, location, description, and room, and they've got a little plus sign here. And thanks to the one-to-one relationship that I set up, I can select one room to go with the location of the item that has a barcode on it, right? So anyway, this is my side quest. I spent a couple hours fooling around with this and playing with the barcode scanner and doing different things to make this a reality, right? So you've got again, you've got this details view. You can see relations going between them. There's API snippets. If you're one of those programmer type people, you've got curl and wget. You've got JavaScript snippets. Node, the NocoDB SDK. You can do it in PHP. Python, very short, sweet, to the point. Ruby, pretty short as well. Java, even shorter, apparently. And C, you've got documentation down there. And there are also webhooks that I've not played with webhooks before, so probably not something I will be touching. But yeah. They've got just a few days ago, they released version 0.258.3. So yeah, the cool thing is you can start setting something up in a spreadsheet, export a CSV or an XLSX file, and import it directly into NocoDB. You know, there are things that it can't do, but they seem to be on top of the continual development type of thing. So last update was the 28th of November and the 19th of November, the 12th of November. So about once a week or so, they are releasing updates. They've got a YouTube channel, user roles explained, and master the roll-up field. And yeah, I mean, this is handy to have around. You can run it self-hosted like I am. You can also use the NocoDB cloud if you so desire. It has an import from Airtable. With the free version, you can have 10,000 rows, excuse me, 1 gig of storage, and you get the community support. So, and it looks like Team is free at the moment. with up to 10 users, 50,000 rows, and 10 gigs of storage. So, you know, it's, well, they're probably free trials, but, um, yeah, I mean, this is kind of cool. You can import JSON and Airtable, Excel. You can export CSV, JSON. Um, you've got different views. You've got different data types, which is what they refer to as columns. Just kind of a cool piece of software to play with, right? I got into Airtable when it first came out. I did a few small projects with it for personal use. But you know, it when they started changing things and wanted to start charging for it, to have any real usefulness, I kind of jumped ship and started looking for open source versions, which, let's face it, I prefer anyways. So your mileage may vary. So anyways, let's see. What else do I have to talk about tonight? Spent, I don't know, probably 90 minutes on the phone yesterday, with a guy that has, I don't know, lately he's sort of become like a mentor type of person. He's a year younger than my dad. So he's 77. He's been retired for, shoot, going on 20 years. Did work in the IT field. He's done anything from consulting to, you know, wiring up custom electronics and all kinds of things. So interesting guy to know. He's the one that donated the 3D printer to me, that I'm still kind of in the early stages of finding a good spot for and getting set up. But yeah, I've really enjoyed talking with him. We are sort of on the same wavelength on a lot of things when it comes to open source and, you know, Raspberry Pis and Pi Picos and this and that. So you know, he called me up yesterday, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to be on this call for a while, so that's part of the reason I didn't get much done yesterday. And I think it was a 90-minute call, if I remember correctly. But he's like, "Have you bought the new Pico 2W yet?" I said, "No." I said, "I've more been eyeing the Compute Module 5 that was released at about the same time." He's like, "Oh, well, don't order one." I said, he's like, "I ordered 5." He said, "I'll set you up with one. In fact, I'll set you up with one of each generation, the standalone versions and the wired versions for each. So I'm going to be getting like 4 Pico boards to mess around with." And he was even soldering the pins on for me, which I don't have a good soldering station set up with proper ventilation. And it's too cold to open a window up here in the wintertime. So, um, yeah, um, it'll be interesting to start playing with those. And I really kind of wanting to spend some of the winter months getting into the Home Assistant thing again. Get the different rooms set up and the different panels and things for controlling different areas of the apartment, right? So yeah, that's that's that. So I guess the other thing, this was my other time sink yesterday. This crazy thing. So I did set up. I did set up. Not really sure how useful it is, but I did set up. XCP-ng and XO Lite. It's pretty. Can't say that I've been able to do much with it, but it's pretty. You would think that each of your titles would at least be clickable. Nope. Even on the main page, it's like all I want to do is be able to create a VM and nothing. You'd think there'd be a button that says create or new. Nope. So it's pretty, but it doesn't do much from what I can see. Haven't dug into the docs much, but it appears that the only useful thing I can do from here is use the deploy XOA button. So DHCP, right. So I suppose I could deploy XOA this way, but I don't know. I guess I'm too entrenched in the Proxmox ecosystem, and this, although it's prettier, I do like the purple color scheme. Kind of a letdown, if I'm being honest. Kind of a letdown. Let's see. Installed Proxmox on an HP 800 G2 today. Very nice. Would love to see how to do an inventory system video. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm working towards, but I want to get the barcode stickers here, and I want to play with the design of my tables before I do a video on it, right? And but yeah, none of the home inventory stuff that I've seen has really resonated with me, shall we say. It's always just kind of felt clunky, and if I can do something that is tailored for the way my mind works, using NocoDB, then I think it'll be a fun project. I mean, I don't really do much database work these days. I do have an interest, after seeing a few recent videos, to start playing with SQLite again. But yeah, I mean, this will be fun. It'll be something that might be useful, and the great thing about it is that I can always export the data out of it and be able to open up in any spreadsheet that I want, right? Trick for you. I would like to see a Linux VM running on Proxmox 8.3 successfully read, view movies from a Blu-ray player. I could do that. I don't think I can do it tonight. I'm not sure if my Blu-ray player is up here or if it's downstairs in Studio B. But let me make a note of that on my whiteboard over here. PVEVM read view Blu-ray. Okay. And I've got a Blu-ray drive, but I think it might be downstairs. What does the library use for book inventory? So we have a, it's called an integrated library system, or ILS. So it's a custom, I mean, they sell it to multiple libraries, but it's a custom web-based system that handles all the front end stuff and the back end stuff, both for the staff and for the patrons. So it would allow, well, let's see, I can show the patron side, I think. So the OPAC interface is the public face of this. So you've got a big old search bar here. You can see news and messages. You can see different things. This is like all the library of things items. So Nintendo Switch and games and metal detectors and passes for the zoo and the local science museum. There's a telescope. There's a chess set. There are Chromebooks that you can check out. There's a knockoff of a GoPro. There's a metal detector. That might be the old one, actually. There's a Kindle Fire tablet. There's a microscope. So yeah, there's stuff there. There's, yeah, basically this is the public side of things, right? So if I wanted to search for James Patterson, it will return me all the books by or about James Patterson, or maybe by and about James Patterson. And it will give you a status of whether it's in the library or not. I'm not sure I'm comfortable showing the staff side of this, but maybe in a members only stream, I might feel less uncomfortable about doing a demo of that side of things. But there's the ability to log in. And so if I were to, I don't think that's the right, no, that's not the right login. That's the staff side login. So you can log in, and this will allow you to reserve books. You can also jump into like trending information. So these are going to be mostly stuff that's, well, a lot of it's checked out, or at least it's very popular. So we're looking at like 50-50. So yeah, it gives the librarian type people the ability to do the cataloging, to add new books or items, you know, whether they're books or DVDs or games, or, you know, fall under the library of things heading, add those to the system. and edit them. We can, add new patrons and all kinds of stuff like that. Would the old guy come on the channel? He's actually been on the channel, believe it or not. Let's see. Let's look at videos and search for Bob. Yeah, so this video 3 years ago he was on. Him and Jerry Norris from The Fledge that I've talked about before. Both great guys, and I've learned a lot from both of them over the years. So I guess while we're here, we might as well take a look, because I actually lost a couple of subscribers today. I was up to 6591, and now I'm down to 6589. Such is life as the life of a YouTuber, right? I'm still amazed that short has gotten as many views as it has. So I just squeaked in under the wire. I am going to get paid in December, which is nice with all the holiday brouhaha coming up and all that. But yeah, I might be able to get Bob on the channel again. That would be fun. Yesterday we were talking about reviving the coding club, and my idea that I was bouncing off him was to do it as a hybrid type of thing, where part of the time we would meet in person and part of the time we would do online meetings, and that way people were at their computers and could show off projects, like software projects, that way. So we're gonna see about getting together towards the end of this year or the first part of next year and see about setting that up, and that's probably when I'll get the Raspberry Pi Picos from him. And so yeah, those will likely make an appearance on the channel at some point. Even Hyper-V has a create button. Yep, that's why I was a little disappointed in it. Like I said, it's pretty, but I don't get the logic behind having a pretty interface like this where you can't even create a VM. So yeah, it's supposed to be beta or something, version 0.6. Still, I don't find it acceptable to ship something like this and not be able to create a VM. Maybe it's just a me thing, but maybe I've been spoiled by Proxmox all these years. When Proxmox has a single pane of glass for multiple clusters, they would be the perfect business solution. Yeah. Yep. I want to like XCP-ng, but I want to install a system and then use it, not continually be reinstalling and maintaining a management VM. Yeah, I don't get it. But that all being said, I mean, even when it was Zen server years ago and I was using it in the classroom, um, there was a very, very buggy Windows only fat client interface for it. And it was ugly as sin and it was buggy as all get out. So if they can get this to the point that at least that interface was, while looking as nice as this does, it'd be great. I mean, for a home lab, for somebody getting started in home lab, um, this would be the perfect thing for a standalone virtualization machine, right? You get one of these little 1 liter PCs that I've got this running on. Slap a 2.5-inch SSD in it and an NVMe drive. You're off to the races. But it's not ready for prime time, right? It's possible if you pass through a SATA controller to the VM. Yep. You have to pass through the entire SATA controller. Unfortunately, won't work with a single SATA device to the VM. Took me over 2 hours to get a SAS controller pass through to the VM in Proxmox. Pass through GPU to my Blue Iris VM. That's about it. Yep. Watch how you say old guy. Well, this guy has a few years on you, David. So, when I say old guy, I mean somebody my dad's age. You know, above 75, right? To my knowledge, you're not to 70 yet, but I could be wrong. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You don't look like you're in your 60s, anyways. He's got some years on you. When Bob gifts you the Picos, that would be cool to learn about live. Yeah. Not as many as I would like, I'm afraid. Oh my. XO Lite is still being developed. Yeah, it's still pretty beta, I guess. It's 0.6. Of course, you know, in the Linux world, that doesn't mean anything. I've used lots of Linux software over the years that was below a 1.0 version, and it was quite stable and feature rich, shall we say. Oh yeah, I remember Zen Center, XCP-ng Center, Citrix pretty much abandoned it. Yep. Less than a year and a half, I will hit the dreaded. Right. I see what you did there, David. Hope you're still streaming at 75. Yeah, I'm sure David will be. I'm not sure I'll be alive at 75, but hey, we had a good run, right?
Where has everybody gone? We're down to 9 viewers. What's going on? Granted, it has been almost an hour and a half, but hey.
Yes, I suppose just for your entertainment, Josephus, if I'm still alive at 75, I'll probably still be streaming. trying to make a buck.
Okay. Maybe people don't like the voices. We've lost another one. All right. Let's see. Let's go back here to Proxmox for the win. So, we completed the download of the Parrot security distribution, and once you've got it in the import section, it's stupid simple to actually create the VM. You double click on it, you give it cores if it doesn't automatically assign them, you give it memory if it doesn't already assign it. Give it a name, select the operating system type. Yes, that looks good. This needs to go on that storage. QCOW2 is fine. Advanced, I think we can leave this alone. Actually, we want to change that to no, I'll leave it alone. Why isn't the VirtIO on there? In any event, let's import. Task OK. That was easy. 111. Let's see what our everything looks good there. Start now. Well, something doesn't like something. So this is why you sometimes have to play with it, right? So there we go. Let's try VirtIO SCSI. Let's try that. Maybe it'll like that more. Nope. Okay, so the other thing it could be, which they don't always detail. So let's do an EFI disk. Let's do a TPM state. And then let's change the BIOS to UEFI. And now we'll try it again. Maybe it still won't like it. So, did I close that already? Probably. Okay, so let's see. So we did virtual, we did security, AMD 64. Does it tell us anything at all about this? It says it's dual core CPU, no graphical acceleration required. 1 gig of RAM, 16 gigs of storage. It should run. It should run. So let's look at boot order. And it's not showing any bootable devices. Well, that's a problem. So it did not import a disk. That's a problem. He can't boot it if he doesn't have a disk. Well, how the heck did we get from a 6 gigabyte OVA file to a non-bootable VM? Let's take another look at this. Cores. Let's do 1011. We'll give it 8 cores, 8 gigs of RAM. OS type is going to be Linux. Yeah, that's the right kernel. PVEO2 store, QCOW2. Maybe we need to do VMDK. Disks. I still don't understand why it's not showing a disk. It's 6 gigabytes. Let's try. Yeah, there's no way that's going to work. That's too fast. That's too fast. No bootable device selected. Yep. Okay. Well, that's a dead end. So we'll get rid of that, and we will get rid of this. No harm, no foul, right? So that didn't work. Suppose what did I import earlier that worked? I think I deleted them all. Export mint. Yeah. It's all everything I tried I deleted because it wasn't cooperating with me. Oh well. We got 20 minutes left. I'm not worried about it. We're having a good time. Last drop of whiskey. Let's have a moment of silence for the bottle of whiskey in the wild. Okay. Had to do it. Probably the best bottle of whiskey I've ever had. Okay, that got me to laugh out loud. Usually the boot order. Yeah, for some reason it didn't have a disk. It wasn't bringing the disk over from the OVA file. There was nothing to select when I went into boot order. Sometimes it does not have the disk enabled for one of the boot options. Sent you a t-shirt in Signal you should bring up and buy. Oh boy. Let me see if I can launch Signal and then I'll bring it on screen. Oh, and I can get it my size too. Is that a Christmas special? It's okay. I'm on 500 milligrams of fuck it all. Oh, Joe, you know me too well. Now I really, really want that. I am going to add that to, I think I've got a clothing, clothes. Yeah, there we go. We'll put it in there. Yeah. And I can get it in purple, no less. Purple, not pink or red or whatever that was supposed to be. Purple. Okay, so originally planned on retiring from my New York State job at 1001010 binary, but if I spend one more month with those political idiots, I would not be here today. I only drink Bud Light or Miller Lite beer with chicken or pizza. I never really. The only light beer I ever drank was Labatt Light. And I haven't had any of that since I finished my undergraduate degree. Although I want one too. I will admit that there was one night I had come home from class, and my roommate, my friend that lives in Illinois now, my roommate at the time was entertaining a young lady. And as he has the tendency to do, he decided to egg me on a little bit. I'd come home from class, and I was pretty sure that I had done pretty poorly on an exam that I had taken that day. And so I went to the liquor store that was a couple doors down from our apartment. And now, mind you, I went back to school at 30, so there's no issue of like MIPs or anything like that. For those not to know, MIP is minor in possession. So anyway, I went down to the store. I got myself a 12-pack of Labatt Blue Light, and I took 2 cans to my bedroom, to the command station, and since he was entertaining this young co-ed out in the main room and whatnot, and so I went in the bedroom and I finished the first 2 cans of beer, and it's like, all right. So I came out and grabbed 2 more and proceeded to drink all 12 cans in one night. I'm not sure if I've had Labatt Blue Light since. I have, since graduation, I have taken to trying to become one with my German heritage. Although I've since learned that I'm more English than I am German. Who would have guessed, right? And so I drink more dark beer than anything else these days, if I'm drinking beer. But I tend more towards the whiskey and the vodka. Since I gave up dark colored soda pop, whatever you want to call it, we'll call it soda pop, and then everybody's covered, right? Since I gave up dark colored fizzy drinks, I've not been drinking too much rum, because it was always rum and Coke that I would mix up. And I think my days of doing that are mostly over, except for when I'm on vacation, and then I will indulge once in a while. But it's all good. Not a whiskey, vodka, or scotch drinker. Well, hey, that may not be a bad thing. The only thing I like more than Jack Daniels is Corona. As long as it's got a lime, I'll drink Corona. Yeah. I never, I mean, in my younger years, I never really liked beer. I started off as a hard liquor kind of guy. And I think part of that was because the first malt liquor type beverage I had was something called Zima. If anybody remembers that abomination. Um, yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks before my 21st birthday, my cousin slash aunt, um, depending on which side of the family you go through, um, my mother's brother married my father's second cousin. So their resulting child is either a first cousin or a third cousin. Thus, my reason for saying cousin slash aunt. You got weirdness in every family, right? No, there is not. You've got to have the lime. I won't drink it without the lime. Come to like Corona in Cozumel, Mexico, when water was $3 a bottle, Coke was $2 a can, and Corona was 50 cents. Guess what I drank? And people wonder why that part of the world has a reputation for some of them being drunkards. I suppose if I lived somewhere and there was that kind of price differential, then I would definitely be drinking more Corona too. Malt duck or night train. Not familiar with either of those. I'll have to take a look at those. Malt duck was a beer and Concord grape juice mixture that was popular in the 70s and 80s. Interesting. In 2016, Sprecher Brewing Company briefly revived malt duck with a contemporary version. The new malt duck was made with premium beer and Concord grapes and had an alcohol by volume content of 5.9%. All right. Night train. Do. Oh, interesting. There are a number of hits for Night Train. Night Train Express, a cheap, high alcohol Californian fortified wine that was popular with the early Guns N' Roses band. The band's song Night Train is a tribute to the wine. Night Train Cocktail is a cocktail made with overproof bourbon, Cynar, and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, that I can't really pronounce. Night Train Coffee Drink, a coffee drink made with equal parts vodka and Frangelico. And the Night Train Express Red, a flavored spiced fruit wine from California. Interesting. I love tequila, but it seems to dislike me. I guess I never really got too much into tequila. There have been a couple of variants of tequila that I've liked, but I don't know. I just never got into it that much. Let's see. 22 unread messages. Let's see. Yikes. Okay. Let's see. Dating myself, Knickerbocker natural beer or Old Milwaukee beer, very cheap. Yeah, so they called Old Milwaukee the Beast when I was at school. Never drink the stuff. I've never seen Knickerbocker. A margarita on the rocks hits the spot when in Texas. Yeah, margaritas are pretty good. I won't turn down a margarita on a hot day. Interesting. Oh my. All right. Had a 007 once, not bad. So we are an hour and 53 minutes in. My goal was 2 hours tonight. I think we're going to make that without any big problem. Thanks for sticking it out, everybody. And if you haven't done so already, hey, like the video. But hey, I'm just
a court jester here to make Josephus laugh.
I don't know. It's been interesting. It's been interesting. So, yeah, I had a couple of Proxmox VMs import without any issue. I just don't remember which ones they were. Oh, I guess if I come back over here, the Wazoo one imported just fine. I made that work without any issue. That's running over here. So haven't done much with it yet, but we'll see. What else did I import? The Protect appliance. That's ESET, I think. and I didn't get that to boot fully. I'm going to continue to try on that one, maybe. On the other Proxmox machine, oh, Libre Elec, I think I did that in another video. I got that to boot, but again, that's not something I've done much with. So, little bit on the hit and miss side with importing OVAs. Still trying to get to the point where they're importing consistently. I will say, let's see. One of the new things in 8.3 that they didn't make a big deal about is you can change the view of your virtual machines over here to tag view. So for instance, I've got VMs I use for the Linux course. I've got VMs or containers from Proxmox helper scripts. And then I've got stuff that I built for YouTube specifically, various videos for YouTube, and everything else I just don't have tagged yet. But if I had tags on all the rest of these, then potentially I would have, I'd be able to collapse this list down more and drill into them. And of course, you can always return back to server view, and folder view has been there forever. And pool view again. So I tend to leave it on server view most of the time, but hey, that's me. So yeah, we'll see. This Optiplex should arrive by the end of the week, and should be interesting. Next Saturday, I've got to work at the library. It's a mandatory thing. They're doing they call it the Hometown Family Christmas. So it's an all hands on deck day at the library. So I'll be working the full day there. And then I think my niece is getting dropped off to me. The 15-year-old is getting dropped off to me. Because I told her that if she could get a ride to the library, that I would stick around in town so that she could see the parade that the staff is not going to be in this year. So long as she wanted to come over and hang out, spend one night over here at my place. The few times that she does come over, we normally end up staying up half the night watching movies. And then she normally helps me with some cleaning stuff and different things that just helps me get back ahead of where I want to be on things, or caught up on things to some extent. Let's see. Liked it when I got here. Thank you. Have a good night, Alonzo. Work in the AM. Yep. Is there an Android VM? I've not tried Android. Now, that would be interesting. So let's see. This is OS boxes. I'm sure that's an old. Yeah, Cyanogen mod. We're talking 9.0. 14.1, I guess, isn't that old. Is that actually going to be an OVA file, or is it going to be something else? Let's see. When it finally prompts me, that's a 7-zip file. So let's see. 2020. Let's do this. Past year. There's a VDI disk. Well, not finding anything obvious. Yeah, I'd have to keep looking for this. I don't see. Don't see a good option here. Oops. Yeah, not finding a good option there for that. All right. We are just past 2 hours, so Terrell, I did not find a good Android to import. I will keep looking for that. I'm sort of interested in playing with that myself. Have a good night, Tony. So, all righty.
On that note,
I suppose we'll call it a night. Close it out the night with 10 people watching is not a bad thing. So we'll see what happens next. Yeah. So what else did I? Oh yeah, the other little things that I got a vegetable chopper and a desk stand that's supposed to be for laptops, but it was a recommended one for the Rodecaster Duo. So we'll see how that works out. So that the dust cover, the vegetable chopper, and the laptop stand are arriving Thursday. The mini PC is arriving Saturday. And yeah, the labels for the inventory project are arriving between December 5th and December 10th. So hopefully they will arrive early in that range. But that will be when I will get things moving on the inventory project. Because I think that'll be fun. Have a good night, Terrell. If I get one running, I will let you know. Sounds like a plan. Appreciate that. All right. On that note, thank you all for watching. Somehow we went back up to 11. The volume goes to 11. Oh, sorry. Spinal Tap flashback. So thank you all for watching. Keep you posted on accessories as they start arriving. Should be interesting getting that mini PC with the 8845, 32 gigs of RAM, and a terabyte SSD. An AMD Radeon 780M graphics. So that should be nice. So we will see what happens. All right, everybody have a great night. I'm going to go play on the laptop for a little while longer and get my load of laundry in the dryer and probably turn in. I don't have to be at work until tomorrow afternoon, so I can stay up a little while longer. I'm just running out of steam to stream. Probably because I didn't have dinner. That may have been a mistake. So now it's 11 o'clock and I'll be having a very late dinner and probably up till 2. But that's all right. We'll make it work. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you soon. If nothing before, I'll be live Wednesday night. Hopefully I'll have a pre-recorded video out this week in addition to midweek news. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to getting December kicked off early and hoping to coast the last week instead of rushing to try to get to the $100 threshold. Have a good night. We'll see you soon.
Go to bed, Josephus. Go to bed. Or
Maybe you need to take out the dog.